everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time once again for another episode of the Halloween 15. This is episode 2 from October 2023, and this time around I wanted to review The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975. This was directed by Bill Rebane. It was written by Robert Easton and Richard L. Huff. And it was directed by Bill Rebane. He is a Wisconsin filmmaker who's noted for his low-budget work. You can find a lot of information about him. But yeah, this particular movie is a lot of fun. It's got a really nonsensical story. Apparently, a meteor collides with Earth and impacts somewhere in rural Wisconsin, and the meteor disrupts the atmosphere. A NASA scientist and a local astronomer both see the effects of this. They get in contact with one another, but neither one of them travels to Wisconsin to check out the crater, at least at first. The person who discovers the crater is a farmer and his wife, and they discover this crater, and all around the crater it's littered with these geodes. And if you know what a geode is, they're sort of circular rock formations, and if you cut them open, there's crystals inside. Well, when they open these, it looks like they're diamonds inside, and they think they're rich. They've hit the jackpot. Well, what they fail to notice is each one of these geodes also contains not giant, huge, but spiders that are about this big, played by tarantulas. And the spiders end up taking over their farm and causing chaos and whatnot. But not only does the crater have these geodes with these spiders, it also has opened some sort of portal to another dimension. The astronomer and the NASA scientist keep referring it to a black hole has opened or hit the Earth, and this portal opens and a giant car-sized spider emerges from the other side. And that's when the astronomer and the scientist decide that they're going to visit the crater to take care of the portal, because they think if they close the portal, the giant spider will die. This movie is really weird. It's low budget, which is great, because it's sort of a combination of the Atomic Age movies from the 50s in terms of, a giant creature and the pseudoscience that's involved. But it's also a bit of the Grindhouse era from the 1970s. This movie came out in 1975. So there's a lot of gratuitous nudity and gore. The special effects are really something to behold most of the time. This movie, I can't remember the exact budget, but it was made for a fairly limited amount of money. But the most ambitious part of it is this Volkswagen Beetle that was covered with fur and these giant legs. And I don't know, there's not a picture of it that I can show you right away. I'll throw a picture up on the screen, and there you can see this giant spider. But what it is a Volkswagen Beetle with college students inside, and each one is pulling on strings operating these legs. And in some of the scenes, it's really impressive. It's not so impressive when you see the giant head-like bulbous eyes on the front of it, which completely ruin the illusion that this is a real giant spider. But for the most part, it's actually pretty good and pretty entertaining. Bill Rebane has reportedly said that he wanted this movie to compete with Jaws, which also came out in 1975. Very ambitious, totally unrealistic, but it manages to entertain anyway, because it is so weird. Adding to the weirdness is Alan Hale Jr., who you might recognize as the skipper from Gilligan's Island. He plays the local sheriff. He doesn't leave his office very often. I don't know if he shot all of his scenes in a number of days. I think he goes to a restaurant and eats breakfast in one scene when he meets with the astronomer and the scientist. But he refers to a local reporter as Little Buddy within 5 minutes of the opening of the film. So you know you're in for a ride with him. I can't say that this is a great movie, but at least it's entertaining. It has its heart in the right place, even though if the budget wasn't quite big enough to pull off what it's trying to do. So if you like trashy grindhousey type movies and you like giant monster movies, this is the movie for you. I can't say that it's a great movie, but it's a lot of fun, and I give it a 5 out of 10. So there you go. That's my review of The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975, directed by Bill Rebane. And stay tuned for the next episode of the Halloween 15, which will be Mortuary from 2005, a Tobe Hooper film. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take it easy.